I rise this morning to inform this Honorable House that a strategic plan for government reform has been finalized and implementation will now commence. Mr. Speaker, honorable members will recall that the former Ministry for the Cabinet Office with responsibility for government reform partnered with PricewaterhouseCoopers Advisory Limited, PwC, to deliver a strategic plan that over time is expected to change the way that government delivers its services. PwC worked with public officers, ministers, and consulted union representatives to produce the plan. Mr. Speaker, the process of reform in the public service is an exceptionally complex endeavor. Successive governments have considered and actioned a series of reviews and studies by a number of external consultants and produced voluminous reports. Elements of some reports have been actioned, and others have simply been set aside. Mr. Speaker, in accordance with this government's commitment to improve the efficiency of the public service, as laid out in its 2017 election platform, the government reviewed the SAGE report and evaluated its recommendations. Mr. Speaker, there was, however, a shortcoming with that report in that there was no unifying vision, no altruistic purpose, and no clear quantifiable objectives, all of which are key components of a public service reform plan. With this in mind, Mr. Speaker, I am pleased to deliver a government reform strategic plan for the public service that includes our vision and purpose, which codify the overarching reform objectives for the public service. Mr. Speaker, part of realizing a vision is actually having one. And our reform vision is, and I quote, "a future forward government for the people of Bermuda," end quote. Mr. Speaker, it is the government's intent to focus on the outcomes that society needs and wants while managing major economic, social, and technological changes. The main focus of the plan is a target operating model and an accompanying quick wins plan that lays out specific deliverables to be accomplished in the near term. The target operating model is comprised of 5 strategic areas: process, clear administrative processes and policies, and sound fiscal management; platform, organizational structure, workforce, and IT infrastructure designed for execution; people, committed, capable, well-trained resources receiving fair benefits for their work; perspective, customer service mentality embracing growth and business development; performance, a culture of measuring activity and results enabling true accountability. Mr. Speaker, within the Quick Wins Plan, there is a significant people focus, consolidating the human capital function, implementing system-wide performance appraisal processes, building out our talent management and leadership development programs, and deploying an employee wellness program. Our people and our systems are the cornerstone of the change process, but not in isolation. Simultaneously, we'll focus on upgrading the platform elements of the public service, that is, modernizing the organizational structure and ensuring the workplace and IT infrastructure is designed for execution. Mr. Speaker, in the longer term, the government will focus on the development and implementation of an operating model that enables the execution of our strategy. To ensure success, it is important that there is a dedicated team of public officers focused on implementing the objectives which have been laid out in the strategic plan. On Monday, it was announced that the Deputy Head of the Public Service, Ms. Sherry Witter, will relinquish her responsibilities as Permanent Secretary for the Cabinet Office and will be dedicated full-time to public service reform implementation. As a part of the project mobilization process, we will commence the next phase of engagement with our union partners and key stakeholders. Work to embed a change management framework in the public service will be undertaken. The service will be clear on our strategic intent and the strategic objectives which will determine what needs to be done, what needs to be accomplished in order to achieve public sector reform. Mr. Speaker, the plan is both practical and aspirational. It builds on the reform work already undertaken or in progress, which strategically align with our vision and purpose. Mr. Speaker, following the next phase of consultation with our union partners, I look forward to tabling the plan in this honorable House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.